Okay, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Johnny Girardi. I'm DataSelf's founder and CEO, and today we'll talk about analytics for Acumatica, and we'll also focus on DataSelf Analytics per se. Before we get, just want to give you some great news. As of today, we are proud and honored to announce that Acumatica Inc., the company that builds Acumatica, is an official DataSelf client. For the past 2 months, I've been working with their team to show how DataSelf can help Acumatica internal data warehousing, BI, and analytics needs to help their business. And proof of concept was successful. And as of today, we can officially announce that Acumatica Inc. is a happy and valued DataSelf client. So just to start with some great news that I'm so excited about. Our agenda today is we're going to be covering some BI concepts first. Then we'll talk a little bit about DataSelf, business and value. We'll do a demo of the product. We'll talk about pricing in year-end promotions, and then we'll have a Q&A session. So let's start talking some high-level BI concepts. You know, the first one is, what are the problems that are solved by business intelligence? To me, the most important one is business people, you know, people who need to make decisions, who need information to be inspired to make better, more informed decisions. Quite often, these people do not have time to learn complex reporting and dashboarding tools. So if they don't have something that is super easy, that is super accessible, anytime, anywhere, and they have to make a decision and they need information, they'll either have to wait and ask someone else to come up with a new report, a new dashboard, or slice and dice in data. So they have to wait, or they have to wing it. Either way, nowadays, this can cost a lot of money. So to me, at the end of the day, business intelligence is to empower these business users with a tool that they can do a lot of the data analysis. They can access the reports and dashboards anytime, anywhere, with any device, like, you know, a computer, web browser, mobile devices, by email, in being able to change things if they need to, you know, slice and dice reports, drill down, and even create new reports from scratch. So empowering business users with easy access to their data is the #1 problem solved by business intelligence. The second one that I hear a lot that people come and knock on our door is just reporting is labor intensive. And typically I tell people, if you talk about dozens of hours, like, you know, per month, per week, per day, when you are in the dozens of hours of labor processes around reporting, that means you're probably ready to get a good BI solution to automate a lot of those procedures. What do people spend so much time doing, you know, reporting? Well, one main problem is consolidation of data. Sometimes, let's say you have Acumatica or any system and you need to bring data from different modules, like, you know, inventory on hand, open sales orders, open purchase orders, and you make a projection. Without a BI tool, a solution, that can be very time consuming. Sometimes it's bringing data from different companies together. So you have a multi-company and you need to combine them, and people use a lot of, you know, services to do that. Sometimes export to Excel, massage the data, use some kind of tool. So data consolidation is a big problem if you don't have a BI solution to automate those procedures. Sometimes just data prep. I have a lot of companies that when they knock on our door, sometimes they have a person, sometimes a team of people that spend hours and hours and hours on an ongoing basis, you know, prepping the data, building reports, being sure the data is correct. A lot of these mechanical part of report creation and refreshing can be fully automated by the right BI platform. Finally, the other big area that sometimes there's a lot of time invested is just giving the right report with the right data to the right person at the right time. If you have a lot of users and you need to distribute information, maybe different salespeople, maybe different departments, different locations, that can take a lot of time. In all of these labor-intensive processes, they are error-prone. You know, people make mistakes, and sometimes that can cost a lot of money, those mistakes. BI solutions, good BI solutions can usually automate a lot of these labor-intensive tasks, sometimes 100%. So let the machine do the mechanical part, so your team can focus on analyze your business, analyze your trends, and make more informed decisions, instead of manipulating data and doing things that a computer can do. The last main reason why people look for BI solutions is speed or performance. You know, they need to run a report or a dashboard, and it must run fast. In our experience, if a report or a dashboard takes longer than 10 seconds to run, most likely, most users will not wait to run this report. So the report is going to become kind of useless. So our benchmark internally is, no matter how much data you have, no matter how many people you have, no matter how complex your reporting rules are, we guarantee that our reports will run under 10 seconds. You know, you hit the refresh button and you want to see in seconds. Sometimes it's not feasible, true, but it's super rare for a report to run in more than 10 seconds. So, you know, people sometimes knock on our door because the reports are taking too long, several minutes, sometimes several hours, even, you know, days to run a single report. And that's because people are not using the proper BI platform. When it comes to return on investment, I'm going to give some concepts about how you can accelerate return on investment in your BI initiatives. A very traditional method to build your own BI solution is start from scratch. Get the pieces, you know, get the tool, the BI tool, get someone that knows kind of the BI tool or will be trained, and start from scratch. And this approach works for many organizations. If you have the right people, the right time, it's just a matter of, time and money. Like many people say in technology, everything is just a matter of, time and money. If you have time and money, you'll get it done. If you want to go to the moon, if you have time and money, you'll get it done. BI is the same thing. In starting from scratch, that's the approach. One of the problems with the start from scratch is time and money. Sometimes it takes a long time to get the job done. Quite often weeks, even months and years to cover a small set of reports and dashboards. And sometimes the people or the person involved in the process is no longer available, leaves, get promoted, in vacation, whatnot. And these projects sometimes fail because the people involved in this start from scratch approach don't have continuity. And then projects fail, someone else takes over, the person doesn't know what the other person was doing, doesn't like the tool, and scratch the old project, start all over again. So start from scratch, successful, but be sure you have the time, money, resources to keep continuity in the project to be successful. The Plan B approach, which I actually call the Plan A for many organizations, is look for off-the-shelf solutions that can get you a head start, much more advanced as starting from scratch, and they will have supporting services to complement your own investment, people investment in the tool. So if the people involved in your project, eventually they change, they move, they can no longer support the BI, you can have this kind of vendor or consultants outside that will be augmenting your own team to be sure that investment is not lost. So off-the-shelf BI solutions usually provide you a head start, sometimes several months or several years. They would take several months or several years to build it from scratch. It will take you much farther down the road, and then can help you keep the system and training your people and be sure the investment is not going to fall through the cracks. like, so many start from scratch projects I've seen around. Improving BI user engagement. I've seen so many projects out there where, it gets started, you get a few people with excited and working with the BI, and then they have a hard time expanding BI into a broader audience. In any organization, there's usually at least a small number of people who are data hungry. These people understand that if they know the facts, if they can see the data, they can make better, more informed decisions. And these users will embrace your BI solution, will take advantage of it, and will do better. But so many times I see other users, sometimes a much larger number of users, that don't get so excited about data and they don't embrace it. And the company could do a lot better, but because they have a hard time getting more users into BI, it becomes a small, limited initiative within the organization. This is a human problem more than a technology problem. And if you have a team of people, of BI experts that have been around, that have seen this kind of situations, they can help your company find ways to get your BI solution beyond the data-hungry people, so everyone can take advantage of this great investment. Traditionally, the top-down approach to push BI to all users was the way to go. Many organizations were very successful, pushing BI from the top down. Even today, we have clients that they push it down, and boy, it works. But we're seeing more and more the grassroots approach to be more successful, or a blend of the two. And the idea of the grassroots is find the people who are data hungry, who are gonna embrace a solution, make these people very successful, because now they have better ways to look at their data, make better decisions, and people talk. And the other people are gonna say, what are you doing that you're becoming more successful? Water fountain kind of conversation. And then, we can help put some ideas in people, and hey, how you start telling other folks, yeah, this is helping me, I'm doing this and like that. And kind of naturally, others don't want to be left behind, and they want to be part of this thing that is making a few people more successful. And when you see the grassroots approach, you start to expand, and when you see you have so many more users engaging with the BI solution. So sometimes a little slower to get traction, but the grassroots sometimes is so much more solid in building long-term, strong BI user engagement. At the beginning, when you start to roll out BI and trying to go to these other users, they're not data hungry, the focus is keep it simple, just push very simple, like 1, 2, 3 maybe reports or dashboards, and focus on reports and dashboards that show actionable key performance indicators. The idea is if one day, one of these people that are not so thrilled about data, if their report or dashboard can make them make something better, a better sale, a more profitable sale, or some kind of cost cutting, they're gonna say, oh, wow, that really is helpful. What else do you have for me? That's the aha moment. That's when you start to getting other people, they're not so, so into these things, to say, well, there's actually a good value and I appreciate it. And then they pull you in instead of you pushing to them the BI solution. So focusing on simple and only one or a few actionable KPIs is an important component to get user traction beyond the data hungry people. Finally, and sometimes this is so critical, people are different. Be mindful of individual preferences. So come up with a BI platform that provides different ways for users to access those reports and dashboards. Some people are sitting on the desktop, so make it easy to access using a web browser or a thick client. Some people like to use mobile devices. Some people might like to see things, you know, on an email. So find BI solutions that provide many different ways to send information. So each individual, especially for these people who are not so data hungry, they can select the way that they're going to get this information, access this information, and help them. Alerts also is usually an important piece of the puzzle. You know, some people don't want to be bothered with these reports and dashboards until something important happens, some kind of threshold crosses. Well, for those users, be sure that you show the alert functionality and set it up 1 or 2 for them. Only when volume goes above certain things, credit limit is close to be reached, send an email to the person so you don't bother them until they care. So be mindful of individual preferences and find a platform that will provide those means to provide information for each individual. All of these things, again, part of the technique is knowing the technology, knowing the options, but knowing how to deal with humans and help them take to the next step. These people who are not data hungry, they're usually very successful in whatever they do. And we, I call the data geeks, we need to insert in their processes and help them with ways that we can start giving them information, and hopefully they'll see value and they can make better, more timely, and more informed decisions. So I hope you have enjoyed the little introduction about overall BI. Let me focus now on the DataSelf Analytics platform. And let me just start with a quote from one of our Acumatica customers. They were one of the first ones that embraced DataSelf. Carl, he said that the reporting available from DataSelf is dynamic, flexible, and accurate. When they start using Acumatica, you know, they are not necessarily very technical people, and they were kind of, you know, frustrated that, you know, when they need something different out of the Acumatica reporting, they would have to call the reseller. And, you know, when you call someone else, especially someone outside of the organization, it just takes time to talk, to explain, and get the job done. So they were kind of frustrated with their inability to get user empowerment for reporting dashboard. And then they embraced DataSelf, and now they are extremely pleased with the visibility they have and they're able to achieve with the manifesto of their business using DataSelf. And that's, again, a quote from Carl, Director of Sales of Home Enhancement. Key benefits of DataSelf. Well, if you empowering end users who are not technical is the #1 problem solved by BI, guess what? Our #1 key benefit is ease of use. We have this design DataSelf, the back end for IT, the front end for business people, and we use best of breed technology and components, so every person working with DataSelf will be using one of the best technologies available out there and focused on ease of use. Mid-sized companies are busy, they need to do the job quickly, so ease of use, #1 benefit. #2, we understand that if you're busy and you need a lot of reports and dashboards, instead of starting from scratch, guess what? We are working for you. In our 14 years in business, early in our journey, we realized that, hey, we are the BI experts. Let's actually build reports for our clients so they don't have to, at least, you know, some of the reports. And in these 14 years, our library of canned reports and dashboards have more than 5,000 today, and they cover financials, sales, inventory, purchasing, receivables, payables, CRM. There's so many things available out of the box. So if you want to see some kind of trend, this year, last year, growth, decline, quarter, month, most likely a lot of those reports are ready. Actually, more than 5,000 of them already. And it's easy to customize. Like, you know, going back to the first item, sometimes an out-of-the-box report is not exactly like that, but you can quickly right-click, modify, tweak it, and usually takes seconds or minutes to modify something that is really close to be ready And that's how our clients use our system. They take the 5,000 and they take it from there. The next main benefit is businesses, they have different data sources. They have Acumatica for ERP, maybe for CRM as well. Maybe they have Salesforce for CRM. They usually have a bunch of Excel sheets with some kind of data. They might have some other proprietary databases, AS400 and whatnot, and they need to bring the data together for data analysis. Well, we do have a data warehouse framework that you can bring the data together, analyze it, consolidate it, and so you can focus on analyzing data, not doing data prep. So data consolidation is a big value of our solution. Finally, my core team, we've been working for 18 years together, and that's what we do every day, day in, day out. We work with mid-sized companies using systems like Acumatica. We know typical business problems around data analysis, and we can help tackling them, training your team, or just being available as you need to fulfill your BI needs. So count on our expertise as well. This is an architecture of how DataSelf works. So on the left, you'd have Acumatica and your other data sources. We pull the data into a SQL Server data warehouse. This process is pretty much doesn't involve any programming because we have our own extraction, transformation, loading tool. Then currently we're leveraging Tableau as the user interface, the analytics interface. If you haven't heard about Tableau, Gartner, which is one of the most reputable companies doing technology assessment for Fortune 2000, Gartner has rewarded Tableau as the gold standard for analytics for the past 6 years in a row. So it's kind of, the easiest, most empowering reporting and dashboarding tool available in the upper market. So that's our main analytics tool. And out of the box, we have, again, more than 5,000 reports, dashboards, and KPIs available. This framework can be completely SaaS, completely cloud-based. Most of our current Acumatica clients is completely cloud, but we can also have hybrid and on-premise deployment. So we covered it all. A quick success story. One of our clients, the CFO changed from one business to another, and he told me that, he called me last year and he told me, no, Johnny, this is going to be my second DataSelf project. And let me tell you why I want to make it so different than last time. In my first DataSelf project, I asked you and the IT team to tackle a complex reporting need that I had, very complex. You guys took 5 months. I waited patiently, and it was awesome when it was done, but it took 5 months. And right after I got over this hump of, okay, my top priority has been taken care of, I decided to look at the 5,000 out-of-the-box reports. What does DataSelf provide out of the box? And right at the beginning, when he was starting to browse around the out-of-the-box reports from DataSelf, he found a report showing some major inventory processes issues he had, that if he had seen this report on day 1, 5 months ago, he would have said, forget my prior top priority. We have bigger fishes to fry. So he told me this time, just connect DataSelf out of the box, show my data. I don't understand databases. I'm not a technical person, but I can understand data. I can see what of my data is ready to be analyzed, in what part of the data you guys have to do your things. But show me my data on day 1, because I want to be in the driver's seat from the beginning and tell you guys, the techies, what my real priorities are. So since this client, we always encourage our new clients to start with phase 1, get the out of the box on day 1. Let's put some of your decision makers in the driver's seat so they can see their data easily and quickly, and then drive us for the rest of the process. So it's a very inspiring and very effective way to get BI successful and with quick ROI. All right, let's take a look at DataSelf then. Right now, I'm switching to the web portal using our SaaS framework. All the things I'm going to be showing you today is available out of the box for Acumatica. You can use web browsers, you can use mobile devices, you can use our thick client that can work on Windows and Mac computers. And I'm going to play the role of being the CEO of this organization. So when I log into this portal, the tool will know that I'm the CEO and it's going to give me what I want to see. C-level people, they usually want to see every day a kind of, a 360-degree view of their business. Sometimes it's a dashboard that is very simple with only 1, 2, 3 KPIs. Sometimes it can be very busy, like this one is fairly busy. But the idea is C-level people, they like to see the big picture. If something is really good or really bad, they want to take an action and go about their day. This dashboard is an example that shows a lot of information: cash flow projection, orders to ship, CRM information, receivables, revenues, Google Analytics data, financials, all in a single view. And the idea is for the C-level people to quickly get an aha moment if required and take an action, like, cash flow projection. Right here for the next 60 days, I see money coming in as receivables, going out as payable, going out as payroll, how much money I have in the bank today. And when you add all of this money, inbound, outbound, you have the projected cash flow. And as long as the most negative doesn't cross the line of credit, I don't have a cash flow problem issue. Now, what if a payment is not coming? Let's say a customer is disputing this payment and I'm not going to be able to receive that money. What would happen if they actually don't pay? You can do a what if scenario here where I removed the particular payment. And right now I'm simulating that by removing that payment, I'm going to have a cash flow problem, and maybe I have to call the CFO to work on that. So what if scenario where a person can make changes here, they're not going to break it, and they can have the aha moment. Or let's say red bars. Red bars might be saying something is not good. In this case, my inventory on hand crossed the threshold. I click the red bar, and then it goes to a different tab. I was looking at the main tab. Now I'm looking at the inventory tab that gives me more details why my inventory on hand is went over the threshold. And when I look at this, I have the aha moment. The problem is the West warehouse. It has just too many red bars, which means many items are above our target. And then comes life. I need to contact this person right now. I need to email or call them. And sometimes you don't remember who the person is, what their contact information is, and you got to search in your phone or whatever. And sometimes you get distracted and you don't do the action. So we can in these dashboards build functionality like you click on the label and you can click call, email, or take an action right from the dashboard. And if you're doing this from a mobile device, this dashboard is the same as looking on this one. If I take that action from the phone, it will place a call right off the bat. Click the label, click call warehouse manager, and it places the call. It's that simple, and at the end of the day, is to help decision makers from the aha moment to take an action. Because if you don't take an action right now, you might forget, or you make it take a long time, and then part of the value of the BI is lost because you're not helping people, from aha to take action. Another example. So what if I'm a salesperson instead? Well, so when I'm landing into this portal, I could land into a salesperson dashboard instead. And this dashboard, again, out of the box for Acumatica. The idea is at the beginning of every day, every salesperson will look at their sales dashboard. They can see major metrics around their sales for each person, how they're doing. They can see, let's say, open opportunities coming from CRM. It could be Acumatica CRM, it could be Salesforce, it could be any other CRM, but they can plan, oh yes, these are the people I have to call today. And boy, I'm going to call Gilroy first because X, Y, Z, and then it's a way to plan the day ahead. They can see actual sales accumulating throughout the month, let's say for the last 2 months. They can see commissions, they can set goals. In this area here, for some businesses, is really popular because it focuses on hot and getting cold performers. You know, who's hot? What products are hot? Where is hot? Or who's getting cold, and so forth. And the idea, you just point and click. I'm going to click who's hot, and then on this dashboard, I'm navigating from the main tab to the who's hot tab. Now on this tab, it shows out of the box 2 ways that we define who's hot. One is, of course, the top sales this period. So these are the customers with the largest sales this period. And what is this period? You choose. Right now is year to date. It could be quarter, could be month, could be moving windows. You just pick and choose and the whole report changes. On the right side, we have top sales growth from the prior period. So this is looking last year to date versus this year to date and who's growing the most. Maybe they're not big enough to be on this side, but because they're growing the most, we call them hot customer. And here again, you know, you can change the periods, you can apply filters, you can change the measure. Maybe I want to see gross profit. So now it's showing the same perspective, but from a gross profit standpoint. Maybe you want to see, I don't know, pounds sold if you're, you know, shipping products. You just change a measure and you get the result. We have this for who's hot, what's hot, what is hot. You know, this could be country level, state or province, city, and whatnot. And we also have the opposite, what's getting cold. In this case, let me actually show the what's getting cold, not who's getting cold. So this report, again, out of the box, show top sales decline from last period. So products who are declining the most since last period. And again, you can change the period, you can change the measure. And if you put the mouse over each of these products, it shows in the center area which customers are driving the biggest decline. So it's a way to look at, you know, products that are declining and which customers are driving the decline. On the right side, we have the no sales. The no sales, the idea is which products you were selling last period, you know, last year to date, but not at all this period. You know, sometimes from a customer standpoint is more important. Which customers were buying last period, but not this one at all? Is there something wrong about it? So very intuitive way to look at the data and make decisions. And overall, if you pick, you know, a few of these items, and you actually want to see numbers by the penny, you can click View Details, and now you can go into a different report that will show actually like a tabular format. In all of these things, if you want to drill down to see the actual invoices, if you want to open Acumatica from within DataSelf, that's also possible. Finally, I want to show very quickly how easy it is to build. Oh, let me actually first show you some financial information. Some people also look at their P&L, balance sheet all the time. In Acumatica, like pretty much all other financial tools, if you look at a P&L, let's say, and you want to drill down into the details, pretty much you get out of the page where you see the P&L, you go into a new page where you only see the details. And sometimes you get distracted. And when you go back to look at your analysis, you can't remember why you look at this page. So you have to go back to the initial page again, and sometimes you start all over the process. So we created a single page analytics that allows people to analyze their financials on a single page. Like for instance, right now, I'm looking at my P&L for 2018. I can first of all just expand to see things by period. So right there, I can see one or the other. Or maybe I want to see for all years. So I just pick and choose. And right there, I see everything together. Or maybe I actually want to drill down into details. Maybe I want to see my payroll. Oh, hey, my payroll, there's something wrong. When I click payroll here, what happens is it pops up this window that shows me debits, credits, and posted at the period level. And maybe when I see something, I want to drill down into the details. I want to see the batch number, the document number that generating those details. I can just expand and go to that level of detail. So now I drill down and I can see all the details, you know, the batch numbers, transaction dates, reference number, and everything else. And if I'm analyzing this and I get distracted, when I come back, I can see, yep, I was looking at my payroll. I realized this number was something weird, and these are the filters applied, and then you can get back to your line of thinking more quickly, make a decision, and then move on. So again, single page analytics is the idea to help you or your decision makers to get the information, have the aha moment, take an action, and move on. And it's all dynamic. Let's say if you look at all your years and you want to see the variance from year to year, you just click period percentage variance. And right now you have for every year the variance in the posted. So single page is something that I'm personally excited because it was my pain point, and I told my team I'm tired of looking at my financials, drilling down and getting lost. Can you come up with a way that we can analyze my financials in a single page so it's easier for me to get back to my line of thinking? And we did it. I'm so proud of that. So very quickly, my last example, I'm just going to show how to build a report from scratch. Let me build a revenues kind of report. So this would be a new report from scratch. Suppose I want to see sales this month, and I want to see by territory how things are working. How can I do it? Well, on the left side, we have what we call the data panel that shows all the data coming from Acumatica. And by the way, in my sample database that I'm working right now, I have 31 million records of sales transactions. So it's not a small sample database. It's a decent size. Now, what if I want to see sales by customer? Well, I go to the customer list. I find customer name, drag and drop my rows. These are my customers. I want to see sales. I drag and drop into my report. So this is total sales by customer in my whole history. Who's my top customer? I just filtered in a descending order, and this would be my top customers in my company history. How am I doing, you know, over time? I take invoice date, put in my columns, and by default, it shows me sales by customer by year. Well, I want to see this month. Let's expand from year to the quarter level. I can expand from quarter to the month level. I can go to the day level if I want to. So this whole report with all the transactions, all the way to December is right here. Well, I only want to see December 2018. Easy. I drag and drop invoice date to my filters. And now I have a filter on the right that I can just pick and choose different dates. Or I can just say, show me relative date. And then now this filter is very intuitive. I can choose month. And right now it's showing sales in December. Maybe I want to see the previous month. Maybe the last, 3 months, 2 months, whatever it is. Maybe I want to see quarters, years. Super easy. People with little training can do this. They can set up these filters and start slicing and dicing in their data. Awesome. What if I want to see sales by customer, by product, by salesperson, by whatever? You just have to drag and drop. So if I want to see product, I find product. I drag and drop to my report, and that's it. By customer, by product, sales in December. What if I want to see sales, by region? So I'm going to create a new sheet, and I'm going to choose, let's say, ship to, state. I want to see how big my invoices are, and I want to see sales. So I just pick those 3 fields, and I tell the tool, show me this on a map. And that on a map it is. Bigger bubbles, bigger sales, and they are sliced by different size of the deals. And now I want to see this whole thing on a dashboard, all the data together. So if I want to analyze things by region, I see my states, I see my sales at the bottom. Let me actually, put this maybe on the right. And then I can save this easily. And then if I want to analyze and see how I'm doing on, on these states, I just pick and choose in the whole report. You can see on the right that it's changing as I'm selecting different, actually I'm gonna have to press the filter here, sorry about that. So as I'm selecting different states on the map, it changes the report on the right. So in a couple of minutes, I was able to build from scratch a fairly interactive report that I could use anytime, anywhere. I hope you have enjoyed the demo. Let's go back to my PowerPoint and talk a little bit about pricing. So we have the Quick Start Edition that starts at $4.99 per month, usually for smaller companies. We have the Pro for $9.99 per month, and Enterprise for $16.99 per month. What are the criteria to go from Quick Start to Pro to Enterprise? It depends on some components. One is user count, yes, even though we have clients with hundreds of users using the Quick Start. So if you feel DataSelf might be a good fit for you, contact me. We'll talk about your situation, and we'll come up with a price to see if it makes sense for your budget. Year-end promotions, depending on what your order is, we're offering from 5 to 15% off licenses, and we're offering 90-day money-back guarantee on licenses. If DataSelf doesn't work for you, we'll give you back the money, we'll get back the license, and we're all happy. We only want to work with people who find DataSelf an awesome solution, helping you get better, more informed decisions. Otherwise, 90 days, you get the money back. Next steps, if you want to learn more, go to dataself.com. There's a lot of materials over there. If you want to order or discuss DataSelf, contact sales@dataself.com, or this is my phone number with extension. This webinar is being recorded, so you're going to get a copy of it by tomorrow. Feel free to share with other people. On our website, by the way, which again is dataself.com, if you come to the middle of the page and you find these green buttons, the 5,000 reports and KPIs button has some has a list of all the reports available out of the box, and this is the architecture. Let me go quickly over there just to give you a flavor of what you can see here. So here you can see out of the 5,000, the ones focused on CRM, the ones focused on core financials, and the ones focused on distribution. If you click the samples, you go to different pages where it give you usually some dozens of out-of-the-box reports. I click on the sales. We have more than 1,300 sales reports. And if you scroll here, you'll see, screenshots and a few explanations from them. If you want to test drive DataSelf, you can click the Try It Now, or on the homepage, we have the button Try Now right here. This will be our own sample database, and everything that I showed you today in our demo is pretty much using our trial license to give you a flavor of it. Having said that, I'm going to open for a Q&A. So if you have questions, be sure to use the Zoom panel. I'm going to check if we have any questions already. So bear with me. Yep, there are questions here. Actually, a few. First question from Carol. I'm changing from Sage to Acumatica. Since I saw on your website that you work with both, can you assist with our migration? Carol, very good question. Well, we'll talk later about your specific Sage system, but no matter what, DataSelf has a data warehouse that has been designed to help companies go through system transitions. If you're moving from Sage and going to Acumatica, we can take our data warehouse, pull your data from Sage into the data warehouse, freeze it, and then put on top of it the live Acumatica data. Of course, we're going to be using the live Acumatica master tables. So customer information, product information, chart of accounts, whatever you have in Acumatica is going to be your master tables. But when it comes to analyze your transactions, let's say your sales history, your inventory history, your services history, your GL postings history, it will be all together using the Acumatica categorization. So when you want to see your historical sales by customer or by product or inventory on hand or whatever it is, it will be like you never change from Sage to Acumatica. We help companies in that regard a lot when you're doing this thing. So I'm excited to hear what you're saying, and we will be contacting you to discuss more details. One more question before we wrap up. How often, it's a question from Ron, how often is the data warehouse refreshed with Acumatica data? Ron, thanks for the question. That's something is configurable. The default is once a day, usually overnight. However, we have features that we can fine-tune the process significantly to refresh very frequently, every hour, every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes, and sometimes even live if it's possible. So the default is once a day, but this can be configurable. We have more questions on the pipeline. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, so let me just wrap up here, and we'll be addressing those questions by email. This is my contact information with our phone. If you want to again discuss, learn more about DataSelf, please contact me. Visit our website. I really appreciate for coming here today. And again, I'm so excited that Acumatica Inc. has embraced DataSelf as their BI platform. That goes a long way to tell that we are here really to help the Acumatica market to do better, to do more out of your data. Thank you very much, and have a great day.